Heaven, please be with us as we enter into your word. Help us to understand what we are talking about today and to appreciate the value of it for our salvation. Grant unto all of us the understanding and the ability to bless others by showing them the truth. Please help us to be serious, honest, and dedicated in such a way to be true in our hearts with these truths. In Jesus' holy name we pray with thanksgiving unto thee. Amen. Amen. This is what we are talking about today, what the Holy Week means. And you will take down your scriptures to make sure that you will be able to bless others with what you're going to show them. Now I want to draw a chart here. And the chart that I am drawing, it will be important for you to take on this chart, because this chart makes it easy for you to explain yourself in what we are talking about. And one of these days, very soon, I want to go back to Islam. I want to show you all the latest things that are going on in Islam. Amen. That you will see how barbaric and corrupt that religion is. The latest debate that is going on, which there people are saying and quoting, is that Muslims are supposed to eat Christians.
It's cannibals.
Yes, they say cannibalism is okay when it comes to them. And I have actual video footage. I can't show it on television, but I have Christians' head cut off in pot, boiling it, and putting things to stew it up. I actually have video footage of that. Nobody can deny that. So we will talk about that very soon. So you all are seeing, right? On the chart so far, right?
Amen. Amen.
GF, Good Friday, okay?
Okay.
Okay? So 2012 Good Friday was what day? What was what day? April 6th. That was what day? Easter Sunday was when? Now I'm adding one more thing to it.
This year.
So what day was the full moon?
The 26th Friday.
Which was what?
Friday.
And what Friday?
Good Friday.
Good Friday.
Catch that here, right? Catch that here, right? So that's 2012. Watch this now. Okay. 2013. Good Friday.
This is serious.
March 29. That's 2013 last year. Easter Sunday. April the 1st. Okay, right? You got that right? Full moon was March 27th, which was the Wednesday. Okay, you got that clear, right?
Yes.
Okay, now, since this is solo, I'm going to draw this year on 2014 right below here, okay? Okay, brethren?
Amen.
Right, so 2014, on Friday, April 18th. April 20th. Easter Sunday. Full moon. Just Tuesday. Move on. Okay. Now that is as far back as you will go. Okay, you all got everything, right? Beautiful, thank you. So what our journey today is to find out the meaning of the Holy Week, what the so-called Holy Week really means. Today the Roman Catholic Church is glad because wherever they are, there is a revival of Roman Catholicism through the Holy Week. World leaders are now discussing about the death of Christ and his resurrection through the Holy Week. In fact, in India, in Hyderabad, they literally put nails to a guy's hand and hang him up on a cross. Imagine India having a great festival about the death of Christ and his resurrection. They too are discussing the Holy Week. And wherever you go, they are all discussing what they call Holy Week. So we want to look a little more at the Holy Week and find out where did it come from and what it means. It is important for you to learn these things because this is a part of the reason why a Sunday law will be enforced. It is to fulfill the wishes of the Holy Week. So first of all, we have a chart above here which our study will explain. And after we talk about this chart, then you can look about this chart here with Good Friday, Easter Sunday, and the full moon, etc.
It's different here.
Okay, it's important for you to pay attention to this, to learn what this is all about. Because we do not want to speak in ignorance. We want to speak knowing the facts of as it is. Amen, brethren?
Amen.
Good. So we start off. The Passover lamb was to be slain on the 14th of the first month. By the way, all this here is in the first month, huh? Nisan, right? So let's look at our scripture now. Oh, by the way, we will finish here by 5 in the evening. We'll close it off by 5. So we are going to start back at 3:30 this evening, okay?
Amen.
3:30 this evening. So now, let's look at the 14th of Nisan. Let's see what happened on it. Exodus 12, 1 to 6, first of all. Follow in your Bibles. I'm trying to make it as simple as possible. Exodus 12, 1 to 6. Is it found? Find it and let's look at it. Make sure you read it in the Bible. You must with your own 2 eyes.
Amen.
We read. And Yahweh spake unto Moses and Aaron in the land of Egypt, saying, This month shall be unto you the beginning of months. It shall be the first month of the year to you. So God is telling Moses and Aaron and the children of Israel when the first month begins, when the beginning of the year starts. Now the Egyptians had a different beginning of the year. And they had grown up in Egypt for 400 years. So now God is telling them, okay, here is what. This is when the year begins. This is the beginning of the month for you. He goes on. Speak, verse 3. Speak ye unto the congregation of Israel, saying, in the 10th day of this month, they shall take to them every man a lamb according to the house of their fathers. A lamb for an house. And if the household be too little for the lamb, let him and his neighbor next to his house take it according to the number of the souls. Every man according to his eating shall make your count for the lamb. Your lamb shall be without blemish, a male of the first year. Ye shall take it out from the sheep or from the goats, and you shall keep it up until what day?
14th day of the
of the same month. And the whole assembly of the congregation shall kill it where?
In the morning.
In the evening. So you see very carefully here. We are told take the lamb on the 10th day, put it aside from the others, okay? And on the 14th, in the evening, about around 2 or 3, they kill it, okay? Okay?
Yeah.
Right, so the lamb would die on the Passover, and that will be what day?
14.
Leviticus 23:5. Simple. Leviticus 23:5. Is it found? You got it? 23:5. We read. In the 14th day of the first month. Leviticus 23:5. In the 14th day of the first month at evening is Yahweh's what? Passover. So do you get that clear, my dear brethren? Do you get that clear? So we see clearly, watch. 14th of Nisan, Passover. Lamb died. Okay, my dear brethren? Okay?
Yes.
So let's pass on now. Next thing. After the 14th comes what? The 15th, obviously, okay? After the 14th comes what?
The 15th.
Right, so the 15th, Leviticus 23 again, don't go anywhere. Let's look at the 15th. 6 and 7. Is it found? And on the 15th day of the same month, did you see it? Is the feast of what? Unleavened bread. Unto Yahweh. 7 days you must eat what? Unleavened bread. In the first day you shall have what? An holy convocation. You shall what? Do no servile work therein. Stop here. So the brother asked about the ceremonial Sabbath. So they're eating unleavened bread for 7 days. But the 7 days, starting with the 15th, which will end on the 21st, the 7 days, they eat what? Unleavened bread. So you're not eating unleavened bread on the first day of that 7 days feast. They're eating it for how much days? 7 days. But on the first day, no work, no servile work. So it is a what?
Ceremonial Sabbath.
It is a what?
Ceremonial Sabbath.
Ceremonial Sabbath, okay? But they eat it unleavened bread. And they will eat it until the 21st. Now the 21st is another ceremonial Sabbath.
7.
But we're not dealing with the 21st, we're dealing with 3 days here. Okay? Okay? 3 days here. That's what we're dealing with. So we know one thing for sure. The 15th was what? A ceremonial Sabbath. What do you do on the Sabbath?
Yes.
Did I say any more? Did I say any more? Okay, 16 now. Let's go to the 16th. Leviticus 23, 10 to 12. Now when I'm discussing 23, 10 to 12, pay attention to your scriptures. Pay careful attention to your scriptures. Because Leviticus 23, 10 to 12 is a prophecy mixed with an admonition. Why a prophecy? Because God is prophesying here that He knew when Israel will go into the promised land. He knows the actual date when they will step right there. So He combined a prophecy with a date and an admonition. Isn't that lovely?
Amen.
This shows who was guiding them. If there's anything shows who was guiding them, it's this scripture. Let's read. We start. Verse 10. Speak unto the children of Israel and say unto them, when ye be come into the land, which I give unto you, and shall reap of the harvest thereof, then you shall bring a sheaf of the what? First fruits of your what? Harvest unto the priest. And you shall wave the sheaf before Yahweh to be accepted for you. On the morrow after the Sabbath, the priest shall what? Wave it. Did you see that there, my dear brethren? Let's read. Verse 12. And you shall offer that day when you wave the sheaf and he lamb without blemish of the first year for a burnt offering unto the Lord. Now that's not going to be that's not why I quote that scripture to show you about what they offer about the lamb. Because on the other days they still offering lambs too, okay?
Yes.
I just quoted for you to see. It says, and you shall offer that day when you wave the sheaf. So the waving of the sheaf is on a particular day. We are told on the morrow after the Sabbath. Now what Sabbath is that? Not the 7-day Sabbath, but what? The ceremonial Sabbath. Now let's see how this was a prophecy. Turn with me to Joshua chapter 4. Joshua chapter 4, 17 to 19. Is it found? Have you found it? Let's read. Joshua therefore commanded the priests, saying, come ye up out of Jordan. And it came to pass, when the priests that bear the ark of the covenant of Yahweh will come up out of the midst of the Jordan, and the soles of the priest's feet were lifted up unto the dry land, that the waters of Jordan returned unto their place, and flowed all over its banks, as they did before. And the people came up out of Jordan in what day? Of what?
The first month.
And encamped at Gilgal on the east border of Jericho. So please notice, just as what God did for Israel. When they came out of Egypt, he parted the Red Sea and they were able to go across. So when they were now going into the land, he did the same miracle over, but with the river, with this river here, this river Jordan. Now the river Jordan at that time was deeper than it is now. It's not like, it's like how you know rivers when you were a little boy, it was deeper, now it is shallow. It was very deep. So he parted it for them. And they crossed, and when they crossed the river Jordan, the land they would enter into is the promised land. What do you say? But what day did they come into? The 10th day. Okay? The 10th day. But God says when you come into the land, you will eat of your harvest. You will eat of the harvest. Notice this, when you come into the land, you will eat of the harvest. But before you eat of your first harvest or your harvest, you must pick some of the first fruits and what? Wave it before him. Let's see what happened now. We go now to the same Joshua, but we go to chapter 5 now. We go from verse 10 to verse 12.
The harvest that they will eat off in the next year.
Say that again.
The harvest that they will eat off when they enter the land. That would be the next year.
Absolutely not.
So when they get this harvest, they will come and now enter the land.
That's what you will see. Let's read.
The same Joshua chapter 4.
So we go to chapter 5. We're looking at 10 to 12. And the children of Israel encamped in Gilgal and kept the Passover on what day?
14th day of the month.
At what?
Evening.
In the plains of Jericho. Now stop before you read that. So we know for sure they come into the land on the 10th. By the 14th, they eat the Passover. So their first Passover that they kept was in the promised land as they crossed Jericho. Amen. Amen. And God said, when you come into the land, so God even know the date they were coming in, right?
Yes.
Now let's see what happened now. We continue. Verse 10. And they did eat of what? The what? The old corn of the land on the morrow after the what? Passover, unleavened cakes and parched corn in the what?
16th day.
Oops. Did you see what they ate?
Yes.
Did they eat the new corn or the old one? So all the food that they ate was from the old harvest, old corn. Everything was old. And what day did they eat it? Come on, come on. What day did they eat it? Let's read verse 11 again. Let's read verse 11 again. Think as we read. And they did eat of the old corn of the land on the morrow after the Passover, unleavened cakes and parched corn in what?
The same day.
So what day is that now? That's right. So you are getting it for yourself. You see how you are getting it? So the last thing they had was the old corn that they ate. But wait, something else happened. Let's read. Verse 12.
Before you go on, right? That as they now enter the promised land and the partaking of it there, and will they be following the same aspect of our whole convocation that they go to the new land? So that will also be a ceremonial Sabbath.
I didn't hear that last part. Will they be?
Yeah, well, in other words, like how they was doing it before. Now they come into the new land and they're eating of it on the morrow. Would that be also a ceremonial Sabbath to come together?
Yes, the 15th is the ceremonial Sabbath. That's right. So they're eating of leavened bread, but eating of the old corn. Now let's read. Verse 12. And the manna what? On what? On the morrow, after they had eaten what?
Of the old corn of
In the land. Neither had the children of Israel manna anymore. Hold on, don't be there. Take the eye off.
This is nice.
Did you get the idea?
Yes.
So you eat your old corn. Right? On the 15th.
No more.
But by the 15th going to by the 16th, no manna falling. So what are you going to eat? You all had to fight was big strong men. The whole day coming, what will they eat? Because the manna stopped. So if I were to ask you what day the manna stopped, when would you tell me?
16.
Beautiful. Let's read. Let's read. We read it over again. And the manna ceased on the morrow after that eaten the old corn of the land. Neither had the children of Israel manna what?
Anymore.
But they did eat of what? The fruit of the land of Canaan that year. When they started doing it. That same day. So they will see harvest there, and that harvest is what they will eat of. Amen, brethren?
Amen.
But before they eat the harvest, what must they do? Cut some and what? Wait before Yahweh, that's right. So what day did the wave sheet take place?
The 16th.
That's right, when the manna stopped. So that what God told them was a prophecy mingled with a date. Beautiful, isn't it? But that's not our main interest. That's just by the way. Let's not be detracted by scripture. So, here is what we have learned now. Watch. Here is what we have learned. We have learned the 14th of Nisan was the what?
Passover.
And the 15th of Nisan was what?
Ceremonial Sabbath.
Of the Feast of Unleavened Bread, the first one. And the 16th of Nisan was what? First fruits. Amen? Nobody tells us what day they were. We are not looking at days. We are looking at dates. They didn't hear me.
Amen.
We are not looking at what?
Days.
We are looking at what?
Days.
We will have to wait until Christ comes to look at days. But the days must have the meaning of the date.
Amen.
You didn't catch that one? I said it too fast. Hold on a while. Come here. Remember we touched the Catholic Holy Week, right? Right, so we know that. Now, this same week, or days of it, was fulfilled by the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ. Okay? Okay? Let's see when Jesus died. Matthew 26. verse 2. Matthew 26, verse 2. Matthew 26, verse 2. Jesus is prophesying when he will die. What did he say? We read, and it came to pass, when Jesus had finished all these sayings, he said unto his disciples, you know that after 2 days is the feast of what?
Passover.
And the Son of Man is what?
Betrayed.
To be what? So what was going to happen, Jesus said on the Passover? He was betrayed to be what? So actually he was crucified on that day.
14.
Look at Mark 15 from verse 42. Mark 15. From verse 42. We read, and now when the eve was come, because it was the preparation, that is the day before the Sabbath, Joseph of Arimathea, an honorable counselor, which also waited for the kingdom of God, came and went in boldly unto Pilate and craved the body of what?
Jesus.
Now why is he asking for the body of Jesus on the very same Friday, which is the preparation day before the Sabbath? Why is he? Why is he calling for the body of Jesus? Because he's already dead. Amen?
Amen.
So we know for sure Jesus died on what day?
14.
You know, I say something wrong to you, I ask what day, I should ask what date?
14.
Jesus died. I noticed very carefully. You are listening to me very carefully. Because some of you say Friday and then you change and say the 14th. So don't let me trick you. So Jesus died on what date?
14.
Now, proof that when he died as the Passover is found in your Bible in 1 Corinthians 5.
Yes.
Turn to 1 Corinthians 5. 1 Corinthians chapter 5. And you will look at verse 7.
Is he calling Cruciatus?
We are looking at the fact that Jesus died on the 14th of the Passover. He died as the literal Passover. So if you ask, who is the Passover? Jesus. Have you found it? Purge out, therefore, the old leaven. 1 Corinthians 5:7. You found it, right?
Yes.
Purge out, therefore, the old what? Leaven. That you may be a what? New lump. As you are what? Unleavened. For what? Even Christ our Passover is what? So you know who was the Passover?
Christ.
So watch now. We touched 3. What? 14 of Nisan was what? And who died as the Passover?
Jesus.
See how perfect it is? See how true it is? Amen, brethren?
Amen.
Now go to the 15. You know why I'm laughing? Jesus rested in the grave on the 7th day Sabbath, which was a ceremonial Sabbath at the same time. So the 7th day Sabbath was a ceremonial Sabbath at the same time. He died on the 14th. They wanted to bury him before the Sabbath come along, so he would rest in the grave on what day?
15th.
On what day?
15. Which should be the Sabbath day.
On what day?
Saturday.
Sabbath day.
Don't let me fool you. Watch me.
Date and day.
On what date did Jesus rest in the
15.
grave?
15.
On what date did he rest in the grave?
15.
Beautiful. Let's see this now. Luke 23, 54 to 56 first. Luke 23, 54 to 56.
Luke 23.
54 to 56. First of all. We read from verse 54. And that day was what? The preparation and what?
The Sabbath.
The Sabbath Jewel. And the woman also which came with him from Galilee followed after, and behold the sepulchre, and how his body was what? Laid. And returned and prepared spices and ointments, and rested the Sabbath day according to the... Right, so here is the change here, what you see. Here is what you saw. He is already, Joseph, our Arimathea, already have him wrapped up and placed in the grave. So the woman who's supposed to burn the body with spices, it's too late for them to do it. They came, watch what they're told, and watch. It's on the preparation day, watch. As it is on the preparation day, they came, they walk into the sepulchre, they see the body lying down there. They actually saw the body of our Lord lying there, right? They saw him. And they couldn't do anything because the Sabbath was coming on. So they left. The grave will be closed, they can't leave it open, and they go now and they prepare spices just before the Sabbath comes on. So that after the Sabbath they will get somebody to remove the stone and rub the body down with spices to kind of kill the scent. So, if they were to leave and rest on the Sabbath, where was the body of Jesus on the Sabbath?
In the grave. Rested.
That's right. But wait, that was the seventh day Sabbath, amen?
Amen.
But it also was the what? Therefore it was what? Let's see John 19:31. John 19:31. Is it found? Verse 31. The Jews therefore, because it was the preparation that the body should not remain upon the cross on the Sabbath day, for that Sabbath was what? A high day, besought Pilate that their legs might be broken and they may be what? Taken away. Right? Which is a common thing in Roman soldiers, to break the legs to make sure they die, then take the body down from the cross. But notice we are told that Sabbath day was a high Sabbath. A high Sabbath is a cross of two Sabbaths. A ceremonial Sabbath and the seventh day Sabbath. So when you have a lunar and a solar Sabbath meet together in one day, you call it a what? High Sabbath. Is that understood? So here is what is going on here. Jesus is resting in the grave on what? On what date?
15.
Which will be what day?
Saturday.
Which is what number of the day?
7.
Okay, what did Jesus do? Rest in the grave. Amen? Amen. Let's go quickly to the 16th now. Mark 16:9. Mark 16:9. Mark 16:9. Mark 16, verse 9. verse 9. That is for those who like to say Jesus rose again on some kind of twilight, some nonsense. I don't know whatever that could be. Let's see when he rose. It says it. Now when Jesus was risen early, what day?
The first day of the week.
He appeared first to whom?
Mary Magdalene.
Right, stop right there, that's it. So he was risen early in the what? The what?
First day of the week.
Which means the day that came before would be the what?
The Sabbath day.
And the day before that would be the what?
Sixth day.
Obviously. Amen?
Amen.
Amen?
Amen.
And we Gentiles, in our culture, have named the day after the sun and other gods and so on. After the sun, after Saturn and so on. And after the goddess. So, the names of the days that Jesus died to his resurrection will be what day?
Friday.
What day?
Saturday.
And what day?
Sunday.
Which is the what?
Thursday.
It's just that simple.
Which is the
No big
16th
kind of confusing things. Right? So we know that Jesus rose the first day of the week. Amen?
Amen.
But let us see that he rose as the first fruits. Let us see that. That he rose as what? As what? As what?
The first fruits.
Ready for this, right? 1 Corinthians 15, 20 and 23. 1 Corinthians 15, 20 and 23. First Corinthians 15, 20 and 23. Okay, you got it? You got it? Verse 20. But now is Christ what? Risen from the dead and become what? Amen? Amen? And became what? The first fruits of them that fell. So who is the first fruit? Christ. So do you imagine that you didn't know that? Way back in Palestine, just off the city of Jericho, the plains of Jericho. And by the way, Jericho was the first Canaanite city built after the flood and after the Tower of Babel. When God confused the tongue of the Tower of Babel, some Canaanites went to the west. And the first Canaanite city built was Jericho. That's why it was symbolical. When Israel come into the promised land, they must take down the first city built by what? Canaanites. And what did they take down? Jericho. Amen?
Amen.
And isn't that surprising? What kind of people were living there? What kind of people? Okay. Now, verse 23. But every man in his own order. Christ what?
The first fruits.
Afterwards, they that are Christ at his coming. So Christ is identified as what?
The first fruits.
So he rose as the first fruits. He is the first fruits.
Amen.
Amen? The first fruits mean that if you have a whole harvest, you take some out of it, but the best out of it, according to the harvest, and they wave it before you use it. So Christ is used, you use the first fruits as a symbol of whom? Christ. Because he's the first true resurrection in contrast to all. So if even though Moses was resurrected before Christ's literal body, Moses was resurrected because of Christ. Because Christ will be a resurrected one. So Christ is the first fruits of them that serve. Okay, my dear brethren? Now, we have just seen what? Look what we have just seen what? 14th was the what?
Passover.
So Jesus died as the what?
Passover.
The 15th was a what?
Ceremonial Sabbath.
So Jesus rested where?
In the grave.
On what?
Ceremonial Sabbath.
Which was also what?
7-day Sabbath.
Right. And the 16th was the what?
First fruits.
And Jesus resurrected as the what?
First fruits.
Plain, simple, straight. No long theological rambling, no hardship. It is just that simple. But now let us make sense out of that. Let's see what conclusions we can draw out from that which we have just seen. Okay? First of all, our first major point, and I want you to put that in a plate of food and eat it. And make sure you digest it. Make sure you masticate it or eat it properly and digest it. Right? And I know Sister Dell is digesting her. I see she's thinking while I'm talking. Right. The importance of Jesus fulfilling the prophecies. I'm talking now. The importance of Jesus fulfilling the prophecies is that he had to fulfill the date of the prophecy. Not the day or the name of the day.
Well, we need to read back. Just say over that point, please.
Wonderful, listen. The importance of Jesus fulfilling the prophecies is that he had to fulfill the date and not the day or the name of the day. He didn't have to fulfill the numbering of the day or the name of the day. He had to fulfill the date. Amen? If he didn't fulfill the date, it wasn't him. You didn't get that clear? Point number 2. Here's what we glean from this. The names of the days. The names of the days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, are not given in the prophecies. The prophecies doesn't give the names of the days. Okay? Neither does it give, I want you to pay attention on this one too now. So watch me as I'm talking. Neither does it give the position of the days in prophecy. In other words, the prophecy didn't say it must be a Friday, it must be a Sabbath, it must be a Sunday. It just tells us the date. Amen? Amen. So it doesn't give us the names of the day, it doesn't give us the positions of those days.
Amen. Amen.
Yes, Lord.
Brother Medina,
Yes, my
I
dear.
want to support what you're saying, right? Looking at prophecies over the years. August 11, 1499. That was given in prophecy.
Beautiful.
You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
July the 27th, 1199. Okay? Notice no dates. No dates. That was very significant.
The date.
And
That's
those are very, very, very. That is illustrating what you are saying. The day is not important. It is the date.
That's the point. Did you get it? Now I don't know yourself. I am alive with these truths, you know. That's why I'm talking to you. So I don't know if you're alive. I don't know if I'm trying to wake up. Wake up, you know. I don't know if I'm trying to do that. I don't know, but I know that I am trying to encourage you to see this shocking thing. This is important for you to learn. Draw your conclusions out of it, because that's going to be important for you quite a lot. Amen? Amen. So, we go again. Watch me. What is prophesied is the what? Days. Not the what? Days. No, the position of what? The days. Amen, brethren? Amen. Right. Good, good. Thus the importance of the whole prophecy is the what? The days. The dates are the 40, what else? The 50, what else? The 60.
That is the important.
Amen?
Amen.
Good, good, good. However, the positions of the days, now pay attention. Don't lose this one out. However,
Question.
yes.
How do we come together on Thursday and a Friday?
Say that again.
How do we come together on Thursday?
How do we get the Holy Thursday? Well, usually, the Roman Catholic Church think about when they were waving palms. and other things like that and say, well, look, that day will be a holy day, Holy Thursday. But remember, those things came later. With the Roman Catholic Church, many of the changes came later. Remember, Lent at first was only 3 weeks. For many, many years, for hundreds of years, Lent at first was only how much? 3 weeks. Until they expanded it. Right? So, you find the system growing over the years. But that's why we want to deal with the Holy Week. Because what does it mean to you? Right now, everybody going around the Holy Week, they don't know that the Catholic Church killed millions of people for that same thing they're walking around talking about.
You see that? Yeah. Misleading.
You saying, oh, look, they're carrying a cross.
And Jesus.
And it shows that Christ died on the cross. Hey, they killed people, millions of people for that.
Yes. So true.
But not this one. Oh, for this one. And this one. Which we are coming to in a moment. They kill people. So I look at the hypocrite priests on the papers, and you see they're also holy and mighty of them now. And they know in the only street, they kill millions of people for that stupidness that they are doing now.
Yes.
If my religion and my religion kill millions of people for that, that could never be of God.
Yes.
Amen.
Because if Christ were to kill people to follow him, the whole of us have to die long time.
Yes.
Yes, brother.
Coming down.
Coming to a point, yeah? Don't lose your track.
Coming down in the maxi taxi this morning, I was, the driver was claiming that this Christian station on Ceylon Point was, the Christian station. And the announcer was actually saying that, a lot of churches is going to meet tomorrow, for sunrise to have a worship. And I was reading something on the internet yesterday where they actually say that this is the particular time where they meet on a Sunday morning at sunrise to worship the sun itself. So this is a significance of the date that people don't know about and they are being fooled with it.
Amen, amen, amen. Yes, brother. And then you, brother. Yes. Straight for it,
yeah, basically like God was like come before the study start.
What you wrote down before the study started?
Alright, it's not sensible that every Sunday, right?
It's not sensible that every Sunday,
every year in a fixed way, right? That Easter Sunday should be the celebration of the death and the resurrection of Jesus Christ, right? Because it's just promoting Sunday and the other issues is Easter, right? Point together, right? That's causing people to want the Sunday worship and paganism. That's causing people to want apostasy, right? The real issue is just a bunch of nonsense.
Yeah. The whole issue is a bunch of nonsense. Like it's a painful thing for millions of people to die for nonsense.
Yesterday work, right?
Yes.
And I went better argument, but it was a true people against the Sabbath, right?
Yes.
And they were saying, we have to send forward to keep the Sabbath. They said the whole world could never shut down on one day. What will happen to power plants and this and that and all that? Right? So they say, we have to send in order to keep all the Sabbath. That was the argument of it, right? And the argument reached the Sabbath was the Saturday and so on. So the first day could be a Wednesday. When I tell the Holy Spirit go to my heart, I say, what day Christ died? So you see how tricky he was, and that was the end of the argument. But I'm not trying to say Friday, so this Saturday was this Saturday. Amen,
amen, amen. So now we come to what you're talking about. And listen to me carefully because we are looking in our Bible for this one. Watch me now. Still, watch me, still not the names of the days. Still not what?
The names of the days.
But the position of the days in the week only became important after Jesus died. You didn't hear me? What did I say? The positions of the days in the what? Week only became what? Important after what? Jesus died. Look at the position. What is the 6th day in the week? What is the what? 7th day in the week. What is the what? 1st day in the week. So the positions of the days only became important when Jesus died. And this is what the Bible shows you. We start off with Mark 15. Let's look at the 6th day position. Mark 15. We look at 42 to 46. And now, when the evening was come, because it was the preparation, that is the day before what? Sabbath. Joseph of Arimathea, an honorable counselor, which also waited for the kingdom of God, came and went in boldly unto Pilate and craved the body of Jesus. And Pilate marveled if he were already dead. And calling unto him the centurion, he asked him whether he had been any while dead. And when he knew it of the centurion, he gave the body to Joseph, and he brought fine linen and took him down, and wrapped him in the lining, and laid him in a sepulchre, which was hewn out of rock, and rolled the stone unto the door of the what? Unto the door of the what? Notice all this is happening on the day that is the preparation before the Sabbath. Amen? So here is the date. Watch me. If you say, well, okay, I know that Jesus died on the 14th. The question now will be, what day was it? It was the day before the 7th day Sabbath. That will be what day? Because the 7th day is the 7th day. So what day it will be?
The 6th day.
So it means to say that the 14th of Nisan, which is the Passover, okay, in which Jesus died, fell on a what date?
6th day, Friday.
On a what day?
Friday.
6th day.
60.
6th
And then say what is the name of it, right? What day? The 6th day. You get that clear, right? Amen? So that's how come the position of the day in the week becomes important. Because after the prophecy is fulfilled, you ask it, well, okay, he's the Passover, he died. What day did he die on? Not the Friday, the 6th day. Okay, let's look again now. Next one, resting in the grave.
It's important.
Luke 23, 54 to 56. Luke 23, 54 to 56. Luke 23, 54 to 56. We are getting there, we are getting somewhere.
Yes.
Are you ready for this?
The Sabbath.
54. And that day was the preparation, and the Sabbath drew on, and the women also, which came with him from Galilee, followed after and beheld the sepulchre, how his body was laid, and returned and prepared what? Spices and ointments, and rested what? The Sabbath day according to what? So, if they watch me, let's do a little action here. 3 women, 2 of them are Marys. They say there was a 3rd Mary, but that's for this week. They watch. They look at the body, see the body, where he laid, the stone is rolled away, they go, is the preparation there, prepare the spices, and the spices are covered on the way, and they rested on the 7th day Sabbath. So if they are resting on the 7th day Sabbath, where is the body of Jesus on the 7th day Sabbath? In the grave. What is he also doing? Resting. That becomes important now because of it being fulfilled. So if somebody asks, when did Jesus rest in the grave? It will have to be what? It will have to be what?
The 7th day.
Which was the one?
ceremonial Sabbath,
but was also what?
a 7-day Sabbath.
Sabbath day.
Amen. Holy.
Just a quick note, for those who might dispute it, after Jesus died, his followers were still keeping Sabbath according to the commandment.
That's right.
You see?
Amen. So it wasn't abolished at his death.
But Brother Medina, you know, they like to use the argument that nowhere the New Testament doesn't show them worshiping or talking about what the 2 commandments were, and they didn't mention the Sabbath. But the Bible showed clearly it was already the custom of those to still worship on the Sabbath day, so they don't need to repeat the Sabbath again in the New Testament, and that's what they don't understand.
Amen. Sabbath day wasn't a problem.
No, it
There's
wasn't.
much will be said about it.
They have it.
Now, let's see the numbering or the position of the day in the week when Jesus rose. We go back to Mark 16:9. Mark 16:9. We're looking at the numbering of the day in the week when Jesus rose. Mark 16:9. We read, now when Jesus was risen early, the first day of the week, he appeared unto Mary Magdalene, of whom he had cast what? 7 demons. Okay? So Jesus was risen what day? First day. The Bible actually used the word what? First day. So guess what? The positions of the days in the week wasn't important when the 14, 15, 16 was given for Israel to keep. It was just the date and the ceremonies on the date. However, after Jesus came, he must fulfill the what? Date, which he did. And once he fulfilled the date, it now made the position of the day in the week important. Because if I tell you, Jesus rose on the 2nd day of the week, what would you tell me?
Error.
I'm not telling you.
False
If I
doctrine.
told you Jesus rose on the 2nd day of the week, what would you tell me?
You're wrong.
If I tell you Jesus died in the middle of the week, what would you tell me?
Wrong.
Right. It is now false because we know for sure that the dates fell on certain days that had a position in the week. He died on the day that was the 6th day of the week. He rested in the grave, that was the what? 7th day of the week. He rose on a day that was the what? 1st day of the week. So the positions of the day and the week is important.
Amen. Amen.
Oops. But only after he died. But there's a shocking thing here. Now there's a reason why I'm reasoning with you this way, because the Catholic Church coming, they'll come and say, well, what was the position of the day when he rose? They'll say, well, he rose on the 1st day. Say, what day we are celebrating was on the 1st day? They say, well, we are right. So that's why I'm answering, I'm talking to you in such a way. To put power in your hands, what do you say?
Amen.
That you will deal with the deception, what do you say?
Amen.
Right? So, yes, brother.
I'm wondering, are you going to be touching on the types of calendars that exist? The Gregorian now, the Hebrew calendar. Will you be touching on that?
I could do that, but I'm trying to do it a way where it will be simple. But that's for next time. Because one of these days we have to mark out calendars here. And listen, I can tell you this. When a monk by the name of Dionysius decided to check what is year 1 of Christ's death, and he take year 1, of Christ's birth, and he took year 1 and he put it on year 4. So that 3 years passed. He was trying to confuse people with regards to those same days. Trying to get an adjustment to fool people. And we remain with that error today.
Yeah,
we
one.
remain with that era today, but we are going into that. So there's the next time you're going to all liquor and all this stuff. That's kind of confusing. We want to keep focus on one important in the Holy Week. But to keep important focus about that, we need to understand the positions of the days are important. Now here comes my shocking statement. Sister Nicole, what makes the positions of the day important?
The Sabbath.
Look at your board again. Start from the top. What makes the positions of the day important?
The date.
The date. Did you get that clear? What makes the positions of the day important? The date. If the date is not in harmony with the positions of the day, guess what? You're wrong. So if the Catholic Church comes here, well, when did Christ die? Was it a Friday? Well, we have the right position of the day, Friday. What do you tell them? It's not in harmony with what? The date. What do you tell them? It's not in harmony with the date. Amen? Get the idea now? That's where you got them. You can now say, I cut you. You can now say that, I cut you. Okay?
Yes.
But we will show you why they put the position of their date. That one will shut all the gluten out of you, so to speak. Amen, brother? Right. Okay. Let's go forward now. So now, Jesus is in heaven. Are you listening to me? Yes. Watch your good story. So now, Jesus is in heaven. Paul is on earth. Paul became converted. Spent 3 years in the desert meditating and studying, like some of us don't even want to. Okay. And Jesus talked to him, and Jesus told him, I am giving you, Paul, instructions as to tell the church how to keep a new Passover. 1 Corinthians 11:23-26. First Corinthians 11:23-26.
Yes, yes. Without light.
Have you found it? We read. Paul speaking. For I have received of the Lord. Did you hear him? Amen. Did you hear him? Amen. For I have received of the Lord. Now that is important. It means Jesus spoke to him and told him about it. So he's telling us, for I have received of the Lord that which also I delivered unto you. That the Lord Jesus, the same night in which he was betrayed, took bread, and when he had given thanks, he brake it and said, take, eat, this is my body, which is broken for you. This do in remembrance of me. Remember in what? Remember in what? Let's read on. After the same manner also, he took the cup when he had supped, saying, this cup is the New Testament in my blood. This do ye as often as you drink it in remembrance of me. As what? As what? As often as you drink it. Did he leave a date? No. He leave it open. He say what? As As often as you drink it.
Yes.
He said you do it in remembrance of what? Remembering what about it? He goes on. He repeats himself. He did what? Repeats himself. This is important. For as often as you eat this bread and drink this cup, you do show what? The Lord's death till he comes. End of quote. Did you see that?
Yes.
So the remembrance is to show what? To show his what? To show what? His death. To show his resurrection? No. To show what? His death. To show his resurrection? No. To show what? His death. And that is his instruction.
Not the resurrection.
Did he say, do it a particular day? No. Did he say, as often as you do it? It's left to your personal conviction. It's left to your what? If you want to do it now, you're not sinning. If you want to do it on Sunday, you're not sinning. If you want to do it Friday, you're not sinning. Yes, my dear.
So why does the Catholic Church do it every Sunday? Have this communion thingy every Sunday?
She asked, why does the Catholic Church do it every Sunday? That is a relic from when they tried to get everybody to keep Sunday. Okay, put it this way, watch. Anytime your parents or anybody go on Sunday in the Catholic Church, watch me, and they put this thing on the tongue, not even any wine they drink it. That exercise was mandated as a law to be done every Sunday to make people keep every Sunday in place of the Sabbath. That doesn't mean to bring a weekly Sunday keeping.
Okay.
So people are still going through the motions that made major transgressions.
Yes.
Including that Holy Week.
Yes.
As Holy Day in the Almanac, which we'll talk about. So brethren, yes.
Mr. Sandra.
She said this ceremony that was given to the children of Israel, go ahead.
Was pointing to something very important.
It pointed to the death of Christ. Many people don't understand the meaning of the death of Christ. And when they don't understand it, it could depend upon making you become a pagan. Because you see the death of Christ as death in place of death, that's paganism. Death in place of death, that's injustice. Death in place of death, that's communist. So you have to be careful. You have to make sure you have the right interpretation of the death. And Christ gave symbols that you would have the right interpretation of his death. Yes. He knew that people would not understand the meaning of his death. Anybody could say, well, he came out of the grave. That's a great thing. Lazarus came out of the grave, didn't he?
Yes.
So did Moses forevermore, didn't he?
Yes.
But did any of them die for us?
No.
And that's the reason why you have to understand the death is the important thing. And Christ, as often as you do this, you show forth my word. Death till I come.
It's an early conversion by the devil, influencing them to promote that understanding so that man will get this understanding and just
Amen, amen, amen. So brethren, you got that clear, right? No, yes, my dear sister.
I just want to know why not resurrection? Why not?
She wants to know why not resurrection too.
Lord's death.
I'm going to answer in a way to make for thought's sake. Tell me why you should celebrate the resurrection of Christ.
And you see Lord's death.
Give me any reason why. Yeah, any reason why we should celebrate. Just give me a reason why we, as Christians, should celebrate the resurrection of Christ. Yes, brother.
Because believing in him, we proving that he has life. He is life. So we celebrate the resurrection of Christ to prove that he is life. He gave us life.
How he give you life?
By believing in him.
Alright, you must believe.
Believe
But what is it like?
Giving your life to him.
Right, we must believe, we must repent, believe. Give up all for him.
That's
But
right.
how does he now give us life? Through his death. I have come that you might what? I am the good shepherd. The good shepherd laid down his life for sheep. So in other words, the resurrection only means anything to you because of what? Any other reasons you want to give? Try one, Carly.
No. Did they explain already? I just wanted to know that you give me.
Carly always makes me laugh. She said, no, she's not going to dare try it. In other words, some people say celebrate a new day, a new dawning. Hello, any new day or new dawning is based upon the what? The death of Christ which changes us. So the important thing is what? The death of Christ. And Christ in his wisdom said, as oft as you do this, you do celebrate my what? Death till what? I come. But they want to celebrate resurrection. I wonder. Now I have no problem with the Catholic Church say they want to eat the bread and drink the wine on Sunday. And they choose every Sunday as a consistent Sunday. I have no problem with that. It's as often as you do it. But what I have problem is how you get every Sunday. How you get every Sunday. You get every Sunday and telling us that's when Christ rose. You're saying, didn't Christ rise on a Sunday? Yes. So what day are we giving you every new year? Every new year for Easter. Sorry, I wonder if I pronounce it right. I said for what? Easter. How did you say it? Easter? Wrong pronunciation. Watch me. Wrong pronunciation. E-A-S-T-E-R. We in English say Easter. The actual word is Ishtar. That's the actual word. Whenever you say Easter, colloquial. It's like saying Tobago. The actual word is not Tobago, it's Tobago. But we say Tobago. So likewise you say Easter. The actual word is Ishtar. What's the actual word? But the point is this. Alright, let's forget that. We have one example of Paul breaking bread, and the Bible tells us what day he did it and what time of the day. That's the earliest example we have. But remember, he already tells us as oft as what? You do it. He didn't say do it on this day, do it on this time, but it's as oft as what? You do it. And he said he received that instruction from Christ, and he tells us that. Amen? Amen. Amen? Amen. Yes. Now I'm going to do this.
But I mean, how often is often? This is for David benefits.
How often is often? Well, if I want to do it 10 times a day, why would I do that 10 times a day? Just doing it 10 times a day, you cheapen the value of it. This is something to be done with solemnity. A serious, dedicated attitude. If you want to do it every 10 minutes, all you're doing is baking bread to eat as a symbol, but you're already breaking your health rules.
But I know,
yeah.
You asked a question just now, the importance of the resurrection, right?
Yeah.
But the importance of the resurrection is fulfillment of prophecy also. Because the scripture says, I will not allow my Holy One to see corruption. Right? So by he rising, remember, it's scientifically it is proven that it takes approximately 72 hours for corruption to really set into the body. So he had was to rise within a certain time for that scripture to be fulfilled. So in his resurrection was also the fulfillment of scripture.
Yes, I agree with all of that. I agree with that.
But I understand what you say, that the importance being the death, celebrating the death, but also his resurrection was also in fulfillment of prophecy also.
Not only that, even him standing on the boat and saying, peace be still to the waves, that was prophesied of in Psalms 2. And he had to have done that. In other words, all these things, his whole life was prophesied, everything.
Amen.
But always remember this thing, the prophecies of his resurrection can only be true because of he is Death. If he didn't die, the prophecies of the resurrection will be vain. He had to die. So the resurrection only comes involved or only becomes important because of his what? Death. Right? But of course everything was prophesied. Okay? As I said before, watch me. The whole Christ and the pluck out of his beard, that's a painful thing, right? Yes. Some of you never tried to comb yours, but some of you don't even have any to comb. If you try to comb and have another and you pull, the skin on your face is very sensitive, okay? It hurts. And could you imagine if suddenly jolting that off Christ's face? The kind of sharp pain to spawn anger in you, and Christ is peaceful and loving. What do you say? Amen? That's something some of you women will never, all of you women will never face.
Some women have.
One more question,
Right, just before that. So I'm saying even that and all was prophesied. Right.
When the scriptures say that he was the first fruit among the dead, what that really mean?
First fruit means the one upon whom all the dead depends upon to rise. But if he didn't rise, okay, we are all lost in sin. There's no hope for us. So that will be the first fruits of them that slept. Okay? So it's very important. The one upon whom all the dead depends on to resurrect. His resurrection is the source of the resurrection for everyone else. Right? Okay, now quickly. We will have to stop now. But I just want to read one example here of Paul. And then we'll continue afterwards. But we're finishing 5 pronto. And that part is where the fireworks starting on another side. On the Catholic Church side. Because you see we presented everything clear to you. Amen? Did you see it clear? Amen. So now, we want to show you your clear. Why a Good Friday? Why a Easter Sunday? You need to know why. And I will shockingly unearth for you from the Bible why. Amen. You think they will not prophesy too? Yes, they will prophesy too. And we need to unearth for you from the Bible why. But give a little history, and that's why I'm begging you all. I know some of you all have to leave early and so on. If I could finish before 5, I'll do that. But I specifically don't want anybody to leave early before we finish this. Amen. So I'm begging you some indulgence here. What do you say? Please. I'm begging you some indulgence. So stay. Let's stay together. And I promise you, no long technical monographs. Simple, straightforward points, okay? Like now. So let's deal with one more straightforward point. Yes, my dear sister.
What's the difference between the firstborn? Like if the firstborn after that, the firstborn. Is it the same time?
Same thing basically. But when they say firstborn, they're showing the one who has the authority over all. Right? That's what that one shows. Firstborn. Firstborn would take over for the father. So that's what firstborn means. So the firstborn is like a first fruit. But it means more than just a first fruit. It means one who has authority over all. Okay? Good. Now, let's look at Paul. Keeping the Passover. Let's see what day and when. Acts 20. This is the first record of the Passover after the death of Christ. Acts 20, we will look at 6 and 7 first. And then after we read 6 to 11, the whole thing. Acts 20, 6 and 7 first of all. And then we'll read 6 to 11. Yeah, we're dealing with the first Passover recorded in the Bible as being kept after the death of Christ. It doesn't mean it didn't have others. Of course it had others. We are just looking at one example recorded here for us. We read chapter 20 from verse 6. Is it found?
Yes.
And then we read verse 7. And we sailed away from Philippi After the days of unleavened bread. After the what?
The days of the unleavened bread.
So after the days of unleavened bread. The unleavened bread starts when? The what time?
15.
And it ends when? 21st. So we already know it is after the 21st of the first month. But we are not told how much days after. We know it's just after the 21st of the first month. Let's see. Now there's a reason why that is put here. That is put there for the early church. Right? The early church had all 1 something, 2 something, 3 something. That was put there. God allowed that to be put there for them. Now let's go on. And we sailed away from Philippi after the days of unleavened bread, and came unto them in Troas in how much? 5 days. Where we abode, how long? 7 days. So 7 and 5 is how much? Right. So let's say 12 days after the 21st. Now verse 7. And upon what? When the disciples came together to what? Paul preached unto them, ready to depart on the morrow, and continue the speech until what? Midnight. Now stop right here. Here is the evangelical. You see? We do the right thing. We break bread on the first day of the week. Okay, watch me now. Watch me now. Did you see this? Did you see this line? Have you seen this line?
Yeah.
Okay.
Evening and the morning.
So, evening and the morning were the what?
Day.
So which comes first?
The night.
And then what?
Day.
That's how they judge things. So many times you read in the Bible, you've got to make sure you don't overlook that.
Yes.
So, we read again, verse 7. Upon the first day of the week, when the disciples came together to break bread. So, that will be when? What we call Sunset Saturday. So when Sunset Saturday happened, they meet one another to break bread. But what was going on here? Why did they do it at the end of the 7th day Sabbath? You see, Paul and them had to journey very early. So he spent 7 days with them, talked to them, had a nice discussion, and he said, look, you know what? We're going to have a big feast, the Lord's Passover. We're having it when the sun sets. So make sure they go home, do all they have to do on sun, and then come back for this big feast. So by the time the sun set, they come back together to break bread. Now this is the same Paul that says as often as he do it. He waits until the 14th pass, the 15th, the 16th, the 21st, all of that. And he makes sure, as he was about to leave, he goes and he has his first Passover with them on the first day of the week. But he came, watch me, this here is the middle, this here is the middle, right? And he preached from 6 in the evening till about 12 midnight. Did you see that? Did you see that? So that would be about almost 6 hours he started talking to these people. You get that clear? But they came to break bread. But so much truth to show them because he had to leave. So much truth to show them that he had to spend almost 6 hours talking to them. Let's see what happened. We go back again. We read from verse 7. And we are going on to verse 11. And upon the first day of the week, when the disciples came together to break bread, Paul preached unto them, ready to depart on the morrow, and continued his speech until what? Midnight. And there were many lights in the upper chamber where they were gathered together. And there sat in a window a certain young man named Eutychus, being fallen into a deep sleep. And as Paul was long preaching what? long preaching, he sank down with his sleep and fell down from the third loft and was taken up dead. So this guy listening to the truth and he dropped asleep. But he dropped into a deep, deep sleep. Because Paul was preaching long. And the Bible tells us he sink down in his sleep and fall off the ledge, and 3 stories high. By the time he reached at the bottom of the ground, he was dead. They take him up dead. So people say, Paul, oh, did somebody just died? This fellow they panic. Paul said, oh, okay, let's go. And he goes down the stairs. You know, this fellow, I don't know about you, some of you dead people here. These guys are action people, you know.
Yes.
And I know some of you are action people, but you're only playing, you can't even lift your hand too high. You can't even lift your hand too high. You know what Paul did? Paul ran down the stairs and goes and lie down over the guy like this. And mutter a few words. And the guy just hug him and he gets up with the You see, I love this. This is the real story, better than any of those stories I haven't told. This is real thing, because this is real life. Amen? But the good thing about it, Mrs. White says, every miracle that was done in the past, more are to be done by you. There is a day somebody lock a steel door, one of you young little women, as you're preaching the truth and they lock you in. You don't say, Lord, give me the strength. And they go there, lift the door and they walk out. Who did that before? Samson, that's right. You just go, you lift the door, and you walk out. Isn't that lovely? Amen. Amen? And that gentleman, you ain't seen nothing yet. You ain't seen nothing yet. Amen. They put you in a boat, and they knock the boat to sink you in it.
You walk in the water.
The boat sinking with you in it, and then the boat sinks, you just stand up in the water. And you just walk ashore. Amen?
Dynamic.
And you just walk ashore too. Amen? I saw my sister there with her glasses, but we saw fixers and just walk Amen? Let me tell you something, brethren, you ain't seen nothing yet. You have real fun coming if you don't have it now. But you have to prepare for it, what do you say? Amen. And they prepare by character, what do you say? Amen. Amen? Amen? That becomes the root of everything. So let's read and see what happened. Let's see what happened. Verse 9 again. And there sat in the window a certain young man named Eutychus, being fallen into a deep sleep. And as Paul was long preaching, he sunk down with sleep and fell down from the third loft and was taken up dead. And Paul went down and fell on him, and embracing him said, Trouble not yourself, for his life is in him. And when he therefore was come up again, and had broken bread and eaten, and talked a long while, even till the break of the day, so he departed. And they brought the young man alive, and were not a little comforted. In other words then, so Paul, after he trained himself on the guy put his hand, hung up, wake him up. He said, there is he. And then Paul went up and he had nice preaching, and this time they already preached with the boy here. And he drink wine, he eat bread too.
We'll sleep again.
And guess what? And Paul, after that, ended up talking long. So by the time the sun was coming up, he and his companions now running to catch boat. The man didn't even get to sleep.
No sleep.
And some of you complain and tired. The man didn't get to sleep. Morning coming and running to go on boat now.
Yeah.
But here we see the bread that they ate, they break bread and eat it, was way past 3 in the night. So if somebody want to say, well, I'm following apostle tradition, all of you open your church building 3 o'clock in the night and only bread. You understand?
Yes.
Because that's the time.
Yes.
Amen?
Amen.
He didn't say, do it on that day. He said, as often as you want, you do it.
Yes.
Right, so we stop here right now. Yes, my dear. Go ahead.
Yeah, actually this question was on my mind for a long time now. I just want to add a little more to it, right? Now, concerning the original argument that we really understand concerning those who say keep the 14, right? What
I'm
about
coming to that one this evening, I'll be 14.
yeah? What about if like a Catholic Christian would like the same as of the of 10? We keep it on the Sunday. We're not going about up against the Bible. Here it is. We keep it on a Sunday. We didn't choose to keep it on the 14th. And in this part of it, the high point of Easter is the sacrifice, the Passover. In any case, when we keep our Easter, is already which they will identify as the Passover is being exalted.
That's what I said before. We're going to be talking about this evening. That's what we're going to do. So watch me. We have put all the biblical, technical things out of the way now that brethren you all understand, okay?
Yes.
We have a context, okay?
Yes.
And now with this context, we're going to touch all that like what you asked here. That's what we're going to start looking at this evening. If the Catholic Church come and ask you this and ask you that, you will ask them, how do you set your Sunday? How do you set your Friday? If they say as often, you decide to choose it, why do you choose it that time? And you will see why. But not only that, you're going to see what is the Holy Week after all. That's what you want to find out.
Yes.
We're going to find it out in Jeremiah. So brethren, did you understand, okay? Yes. Now you see how simple it was this morning, right? We get it clear, right? This chart, this chart, you will use it 1,000 times when it comes to this battle. Because I only tell you these parts, but these charts have plenty more things in it to show. But I just only talk about a few things in this. Okay, my dear brethren, about position of the day, the days, the date. You understand? I could also add watch. I could also add first day, second day, third day. Remember today is the third day since all these things have happened.
Yes.
Remember we could have done that, right? Yes. So there are many things more here you could deal with in this. Right? So keep the chart, you will use it and go over it, make sure you get it clear. And you already have your scriptures for your own edification. Amen?
Amen.
Let us pray. Loving Father, we thank you for what you have shown us. We thank you for these wonderful blessings. Thank you again for the light of truth. And help us to submit ourselves to you and do the right thing and glorify your holy name. So loving Father, may we grow in this understanding and prepare for what is to come. Through Jesus Christ our Savior we pray. Amen. Amen. Let us pray. Precious loving Father in heaven, we thank you for this wonderful Sabbath day and for the light of truth that you have given to us. Please help us to abide in the truth and to be successful and to gain the understanding necessary to deal with these issues. In Jesus' holy name we pray with thanksgiving unto thee. Amen. Amen. Okay, quickly. Let us first start with a rehash, with a recap on what we spoke about this morning. You saw the chart here. Okay, brethren? And this chart shows us that on the 14th of Nisan, the first month, was the Passover, and Jesus died as the Passover on the 14th. Amen? Then we had on the 15th, which was the first day of the Feast of Unleavened Bread, which went for 7 days. This first day was a ceremonial Sabbath. And Jesus rested in the grave on the 15th of Nisan, which was a ceremonial Sabbath, and also happened to be the 7th-day Sabbath. And then we come to the 16th. We know that the first fruits were waved before Yahweh, and we saw that Jesus resurrected as the first fruits on the 16th. We found out, first of all, that when the Passover was given, the issue was the date that was made, the 14th, the 15th, and the what? The 16th. Then after Jesus came and died, since the 14th fell on a Friday, which was the 6th day, The order of the day, the position of the day in the week was important. Because Jesus died on the 14th. In that particular year, the 14th was on the what? On a Friday, which is what? The 16th. That would mean that the 15th, when Jesus rested in the grave, was on the what? 7th day, which was what? Saturday. And it would mean that when Jesus rose, it was what day? The first day, which was what? Sunday. Amen, brethren? Amen. So remember, we saw all of this, but we saw the importance of it all wasn't the day, but the what? The date. Because if Jesus didn't die on the 14th, it was not the Passover. If he didn't rise again on the 16th, he was not the what? First fruits. So these things had to happen. Jesus had to die on the 14th. He had to resurrect on the 16th after resting in the grave on the 15th. And that's how we know for sure that he fulfilled all those prophecies. Now, we also saw in the Bible we were not told that we should keep the Passover on any particular day. Paul received from Jesus this command, that as oft as you do it, you do show forth what? Death. The issue of the Passover is to show forth what? His resurrection? No. What did the Bible say? His death. But if you have Easter Sunday, does Easter Sunday show his death or resurrection? Not even his resurrection. That's what the Catholic Church would like you to think. But that's why we need to look and see what are those days the Catholic Church gave us. Good Friday, Easter Sunday. What is that all about? Now the Catholic Church is growing back in recognition. They are growing in the world because everywhere people are talking about this so-called Holy Week. But it is important for you to understand where the Catholic Church got their principles from. Now, first of all, yes.
What do we call Easter Monday?
What do they call it Easter Monday?
Easter Monday is just because our Sunday is already a holiday. The government give the Monday off. So Easter Monday just came as a necessity because Sunday is already a holiday.
It's really Easter Sunday.
It's really Easter Sunday, but they just call it. They just call it holiday on Sunday. Now, now listen to this. The question we ask is, what did the early church do with regards to keeping the Passover, the breaking of the bread and drinking of the wine? What did the early church do? That's the question. Now I could tell you and I will tell you, but I want to read evidence for you. The early church started off choosing any day they want. They usually ate the Passover on a Sabbath. But sometime as they began to go on, they decided that they're going to choose the 14th of the first lunar month to eat the Passover. We are told John the Apostle also did that. Remember the Bible tells you, as often as you want, you do it, right? It didn't tell you what date to do it. So John and the early church decided that they will choose the 14th. So they started to observe the Passover on the 14th. So while the church will be eating the bread and drinking the wine, do you know that the Jews that rejected Christ will be killing a lamb and eating a lamb and eating the bitter herbs? So you begin to see the church and the Jews keeping the same 14th of the first month with different Passovers. The church had what they call the Neo-Pasach, or the new Passover. That's what they had. The Jews continued with the what? Old Passover. But the church decided that they will do it on the 14th of the first month. And that stick with the church for more than 500 years. For how much?
More than 500 years.
But something stopped them from keeping it. Something stopped them from celebrating the Passover on the 14th. Now, the writer I am quoting here, let me give you the background to this writer. This writer, his name is Polycrates. Polycrates lived around 180 after Christ's birth. How much?
180 after Christ's birth.
Now here's his background. Polycrates was trained in Christianity by Polycarp. By who? Polycarp. Who died as a martyr. But Polycarp, when he was young, met John the Apostle. He was a criminal placed on the Isle of Patmos. And when John was on the Isle of Patmos, John met Polycarp. And Polycarp became converted and became one of the most powerful Christians in the East. Polycrates was taught by Polycarp, and Polycarp was taught by John. You get it clear? So I have brought for you a source that is most reliable. This is just 2 generations away. Sometimes you just have 2 persons away from a great person, like for instance, how far away am I from Mr. Obama? I may have met him and he may meet Obama. Just 2 persons away. Just 1 person away. Did you see that? So we are talking about 1 person away from John. And John is 1 person away from Christ himself. Amen? Amen. So when you deal with Polycrates, what? Polycrates, Polycarp, John, Jesus. 4 persons away. And that's what we are dealing with now. Okay? By 180, a bishop in Rome by the name of Victor was forcing and telling everybody to keep a wrong version of the Passover. What did Polycrates do? Polycrates wrote him. And hear what Polycrates said. I'm quoting this writer. Are you ready for this? Yeah. So here is 1 person, 4 persons away from Jesus. Right? You see how close, right? I quote. We observe the exact day, neither adding nor taking away. For in Asia also, great lights have fallen asleep. You hear what he said? In Asia also, great lights. Asia is what they call Turkey today, where the 7 churches were. In Asia also, great lights have fallen asleep, which shall rise again on the day of the Lord's coming, when he shall come with glory from heaven, and shall seek out all the saints. Among these are Philip. So who kept the 14? Philip. One of the 12 apostles, who fell asleep in Heliopolis, and his 2 aged virgin daughters. His 2 aged virgin daughters. This Philip here really wasn't one of the apostles, because it was Philip the deacon that had. But it says his 2 aged virgin daughters. He had 2 aged virgin daughters. He never got married. They kept watch which day?
14.
And another daughter. Remember the Bible speaking about Philip and his daughters? Yes. And another daughter who lived in the Holy Spirit and now rests in Ephesus. Now she stayed where John was. And moreover, John, who was both a witness and a teacher, who reclined upon the bosom of the Lord, and being a priest, wrote the sacerdotal plate. He fell asleep at Ephesus. and Polycarp in Smyrna, who was a bishop and a martyr. All these observed the 14th day of the Passover, according to the gospel, deviating in no respect but following the rule of faith. End of quote. So in other words, although Jesus didn't say choose this date or choose that date, but as often as you keep it. After a time, the early church decided it was safe for them to take one day, the 14th of the month, the first month. And the 14th of the first month is when they celebrated the breaking of the bread, the drinking of the wine. So if you were to go back 100 years, 113 years, 120 years after Christ's birth, you would see the church celebrating the bread and wine one day alone in the year. And that one day was the 14th of the first month. Do you get that clear, my dear brethren?
Brother Aaron,
yes.
For clarity's sake, for those who don't know, can you tell us what the first month was?
It was called Nisan. But with us today now,
we consider what month?
It will be
middle March,
usually between half of March
and half of April.
Somewhere between there.
End of March.
Okay? That's what it will be. Now, listen to this now. There was in Egypt a leading school in the city of Alexandria. In the city of Alexandria, they mixed paganism and Christianity. Theologians from that school, many of them went to Rome because Rome was the capital of the Roman Empire. But in the city of Rome, there were different churches. But there was one particular leading church in the city of Rome. And the pastor or the bishop of that church was very influential in the city of Rome and with other churches that were in the city of Rome and some churches outside of the city of Rome. He was not ruling. He was not a king bishop. But he had influence because he was in charge of the top church in the top city in the Roman Empire. Yes.
I want to ask a question.
Go ahead.
Well, in regards to what the Apostle Paul says in the book of Corinthians here, when he says, as often as you do it, with remembrance of his death, right? Now the early church, as you showed there, for the first 500 years, they would be keeping it on that particular day of Nisan.
Yeah.
Now this scripture was already written. So my question is, why is it that during that whole 500 years, the early church was sticking with this one time at this particular time of why?
They did it for reasons of security. They did it for reasons of security. Because other sects in Alexandria were already advocating for a change. And the change eventually came when some bishop, his name, I will give you his name, probably Sixtus the First or Telesphorus, we do not know. One of them took the same teaching from Alexandria and formulated a Holy Week. But the Holy Week they formulated would put emphasis and give glory to Sunday. They decided that they're going to keep the death of Christ. They're going to identify Saturday as Glorious Saturday, and they're going to identify Sunday as when Christ rose.
At what time did they do that?
This took place somewhere between 117 to 138 after the birth of Christ. 117 to 138. We do not know who exactly. What we do know is the one who first pushed it in the early church. And his name was Pius the First. Amen? But watch me, listen carefully. These leaders of that particular major church in Rome were very corrupt and wanted power. They hated the seventh-day Sabbath. That's why they kept it as a form. They saw the pagans already recognizing Sunday. So they created a system that will take the Sabbath into consideration, but will give glory to Sunday. If they could get Good Friday, if they could get Glorious Saturday, and if they could get Easter Sunday. They didn't call it Easter. I'll tell you when that came. So, they proposed that to the church in Rome. But the leading church in Rome was also keeping the 14th for the Passover every year, 14th of the first month. Until Pius I came and told the church that Friday of the death of the Christ will not be important for you, neither his resurrection in the grave, his sleeping in the grave, but his resurrection will be the important thing. So we are going to take the Passover, he said, and we are going to eat it on the Sunday when Christ resurrected. The church said no. But then Pius I told the church, he was the one who have authority, and he decreed that they should keep that. Therefore, watch me. Sunday, recognized as a day with some import, first came to the church as a decree from Pius I. It didn't come as a Sunday as how we have it now. It just came as a Sunday to eat the Passover once a year. Did you get that clear? So that the early church, when the new year comes, they would find out when is the first month. You didn't hear me? The leaders of the church in Rome will find out when is the what? First month. And they're going to choose a Friday. Notice that they say they're no longer going to follow 14. They're going to choose a Friday. They're going to choose a Saturday. And they're going to choose a Sunday, even though it's not the what? 14, the what? 15 and the 16. What's the logic of that? What day you were born? What day? He was born on Wednesday. Now he was born on a Wednesday. Next year, we will take a Wednesday and celebrate a Wednesday. Does it make sense? What we have to take?
The date.
Will the date fall on a Wednesday always? No. But look at the irrational of church leaders. They decide they want a Friday, a Saturday, and a Sunday for every year. Which, even though the date doesn't fit it, but fine, choose whatever date you want, because the Bible didn't give a date, but the early church took a date the 14th. So the church decided that every year they're going to have a Friday, a Saturday, and a Sunday, even though the date doesn't match. The question is, why and how do they get their Friday, their Saturday, and their Sunday? They had a method of choice. Before we go further, I quote the Vatican Codex 6381. Now, there's a document in the Vatican itself. I quote, it presents a list of Roman bishops in which it is recorded that Pius I directed that the Holy Pascha should be celebrated on the Lord's Day, Sunday. Through the centuries, Roman Catholic writers consistently kept before the world the tradition that Pius I, Bishop of Rome, ordained that Sunday should be the high day of the yearly observance of the ecclesiastical Pascha. So notice this, they choose that Sunday will be the high day for the eating of bread. And why did they do it? To influence people in the church with regard to Sunday.
Yeah.
When Sunday began to get recognition, it got recognition only as a day in which you were eating bread and drinking wine.
Right.
And it was only once a year. So, even the church in Rome used to keep the Sabbath. Watch this now. Then something happened. The bishops of the church in Rome said one Lord's Supper wasn't enough. One Lord's Supper wasn't enough per year. So then they had one per month. And then one per month wasn't enough. They had one per week. And it is this way. People will be keeping the Sabbath, but every Sunday they have to go and eat bread. Then what did the Catholic Church do? They say, okay, well the Sabbath, since you're in the grave wrestling, fast. Mourn. So they put all kind of restrictions and happy things on the Sabbath and made it a terror and tell them to cook all the best meals for the first day. So they're eating the bread and wine, but they have the big plate of food to eat after. That's what happened. And this is how Sunday begin to get recognition in the church. If somebody tell us, Jesus Christ tell us to keep Sunday holy, no. History shows us that Sunday entered the church first as a day to eat bread and wine in a major church in Rome, and Pius I was responsible. Then they make it once, then they made it once every month. Then they made it once every week. And so you find people go to church on the Sabbath, but when they go home, they have to come back Sunday to eat bread. And then the churches begin to downpress the Sabbath and exalt the Sunday. So some people start to drop off the Sabbath and keep the Sunday. And that's how Sunday holiness came in the church. They use the eating of the bread to push its way into people's consciousness and make people keep it. So when you see the Catholic Church coming to you with this Easter Sunday, Good Friday, Glorious Saturday, they are making you acknowledge what they use to break the Sabbath out and establish Sunday. That's why any stupid Adventist ministry anywhere say, oh well, we're just celebrating the death of Christ and his resurrection. Excuse me, you are following what was given by the Catholic Church to break the Sabbath away.
Amen.
But you're only following it now. But wait. Yes, brother.
I just wanted to add that when they had brought in those little traditions of the bread and then the wine on the Sunday, they escalated it and made Sunday a feast day. So that is where you have, like how we now have the tradition of your Sunday food and so on. It came from all of those practices established to exalt Sunday as a better day than Sabbath.
Amen. So the same political leaders were smart. They know pagans were honoring Sunday in honor of the sun god. But guess what they do? They now having the church keep the Sabbath and keeping Sunday for eating bread every week, send the men to influence Constantine by the year 321 and get Constantine to pass a Sunday law. So that what did the church do? They get Constantine to pass a law telling everybody every Sunday go to church and eat bread. That's how it came about. So that is how they sneak Sunday holiness in our calendar. But wait, that wasn't enough. The churches start to fight them and say, is it 14? Is it 14th of the first month? The Catholic Church will answer as often as you do. You choose whatever you want. They will say, well, no, the apostles traditionally keep. The Catholic Church, well, you choose what you want. But the point is how they got their days was the shocking thing. Wait. By 325 after Christ's birth, the Council of Nicaea sat. And in that council, representatives from all the churches in the Roman Empire came together to discuss this Passover, whether it should be 14th or whether it should follow the one that Rome, that major church in Rome was presenting. After they discussed the matter, the Council of Nicaea accepted the Catholic formula. And guess what? The Emperor Constantine took a paper with it and he read out that everybody everywhere should follow, hear what he said, the Roman custom. They should follow robe and keep a Sunday Passover with a glorious Saturday and a Good Friday. And he add, who refuse, penalty for you. The same Catholic week that they exalted today, if you refuse to keep it in those days, you were killed. So that we have people today running around saying Easter Sunday, Good Friday, glorious Saturday. And the fools don't know how much millions died for that foolishness. Today it is a holiday. You don't have to follow it. But there was a time when if you don't, you're doomed. Is that understood, my dear brethren? Is that understood? Watch me. You listen? The church that we know in the city of Rome, it used to call itself the Catholic Church, which means the universal church. That's what the word Catholic means. But from the time the major church in Rome began to get control over those churches, through the enforcement of our Easter Holy Week, the churches became known as the Roman Catholic Church, which was the Catholic Church controlled by the Romans. And that's how the Roman Catholic Church came about. Brother Clayton in England, Acts 12:4, explain this text. And when he had apprehended him, he put him in prison and delivered him to 4 quaternions of soldiers to keep him, intending after Easter to bring him forth to the people. Look, he wants to know the word Easter there. The word Easter is in the English King James from 1611. By that time it was called Easter. But the actual Greek word is Passover or Pascha, which is the one? 14.
Which is true.
Not a Sunday. Not a Sunday, sorry. So the actual word is Pascha or Passover in your Bible, in the Greek text. Not Easter, so bad translation. But wait, watch this. Watch this. Watch this. So now, this is how I look in my face. This is how this brother look in his face. The question is, what became the face and the image of the Roman Catholic Church? The defining image, the defining face of the Roman Catholic Church became Good Friday, what else? Glorious Saturday, and what else? Easter Sunday. And the other churches keeping the what? 14. They were killed out. By 500 to 600 years after Christ, that had disappeared. And now, you have a church in Rome controlling all the churches with their Holy Week. So when you see them going around with this Holy Week and thing, always remember millions died because of that. And it was that that was used as the entering wedge to bring Sunday into the church. If you tell yourself Jesus rose again on a Sunday and you keeping Sunday holy for that, don't fool yourself. Reality check is this. You are keeping Sunday because it is a custom in the world now, but it was led by Pius I and eventually enforced by the Roman emperors, and that's how people keep Sunday to eat Passover bread.
That is the fact about it.
Doesn't the Roman Catholic Church have service on other days? Yeah. Which is the major day for them to eat bread?
Sunday.
Sorry, suck bread.
White flour.
Because they tell you don't bite it. Yes.
We're trying to say is, right? We're saying that Christ died, right, and resurrected the one day. Because I often like to say that the 14th is on the 16th. Because even say 14th, right? I'm saying the celebration, you just can't marry, you just can't resurrection.
That's the point. The point about it is, why Friday, why Saturday, why Sunday? I put a shout in the board for you to know why. Watch it. This is 2012, 2013, 2014. You can go way before, way after. One pattern you will get. Watch this again. Watch. Good Friday, 2012 was what? April 6th. Easter Sunday was April what? 8th. The full moon fell upon what? April the 6th, which was the Friday. Watch this one now, 2013. Good Friday fell upon what? March the 29th. Easter Sunday fell upon what? March the 31st. The full moon fell upon what? March the 27th, which was what? A Wednesday before the Friday. Watch it on now, this week now. Good Friday was when?
April 18th.
April 18th. Easter Sunday is what?
20th.
Tomorrow, April the what? 20th. The full moon was Tuesday on April the 15th. In other words, in every case, this is what they did. They decide that the determining factor in choosing a Friday, a Saturday, and a Sunday was the appearance of the full moon. They will get a Friday, a Saturday, and a Sunday closest to the full moon. And that's the reason why you will never see a quarter moon on Easter Sunday. You must always get a full moon. So what? On 2012, the Friday was the full moon. Then you had the Saturday, glorious Saturday. Then you had the Sunday, just 2 days after the full moon. Watch me. 2013, the full moon was the Wednesday. By the Friday, it was Good Friday. And by the Sunday, it was Easter Sunday. They are choosing, days closest to what?
The full moon.
The full moon. So what became the determining factor in their choosing it? The full moon. Why? Watch this one. Tuesday, God was the full moon. So Friday, yesterday, was Good Friday, and Sunday is what? Easter Sunday. Again, they choose the week or sometime close to the full moon. The full moon determines when they choose for the Easter holiday, for the Easter holiday. Yes, brother.
So is that how they choose the days for Carnival also?
It is exactly how they choose the days for Carnival. All they have to do is to come 40 days going backward. And when they come 40 days going backward, they will always come to Ash Wednesday. And that's how you know, well, the Monday and the Tuesday will be what? Carnival. That's why I tried to tell you before. Carnival was always set by the Roman Catholic Church. They used to call it Mass. Christ Mass. Where you celebrate your flesh with all you want. And afterwards come for your ashes and stop eating the meat. Isn't it almost the same way still? Yes. Of course. Intelligent people, they fool with folly. I found Pope Paul the fifth saying, let us pray God and thank God for this egg on the Easter. It is a source of the nourishment of the Christian. He actually take the pagan egg and make it part of Easter. In the Middle Ages. Just like this.
What is the significance of not eating the meat?
It just means just deny yourself. Because you're supposed to eat only fish at a certain time.
That is beneficial.
And when you eat the fish had a significance, a pagan significance there. But the point about it is that it was just to tell you, deny yourself, you eat enough during your Christ Mass or Carnival. Now watch. Listen. The key for you and I to find out why the full moon was chosen. The key for you and I to find out why the full moon was chosen is the name of this period. What do you call it? Easter. The word length just means 40. That's what it is. Why do you call it what? Easter. Good Lord, you claim you're dealing with the Good Friday, Glorious Saturday, and Easter Sunday. Why are you calling it Easter? What does Easter have to do with that time? Why don't you say Resurrection Sunday? Or Passover Sunday? Or Breaking of Bread Sunday? Why call it Easter? I quote for you, 2 Babylon. Page 103. Easter is nothing else than Astarte, one of the titles of Beltis, the Queen of Heaven, whose name, as pronounced by the people of Nineveh, was evidently identical to that now in common use in this country, England. That name, as found by Layard on a Syrian monument, is Ishtar. So the actual name they called that goddess was Ishtar. We say Easter today, E-A-S-T-E-R, but the actual pronunciation of the word is not Easter, it's what? Ishtar. The same way the Assyrians call it. But Ishtar was a goddess. Why are you calling Sunday, where you're eating bread, by the name of a goddess? Yes, my dear.
Inside one.
Yes. The brother asked me a goddess of what? That's what I'm coming to. That's what I'm coming to. That goddess was called the Queen of Heaven. What's called the what?
Queen of Heaven.
Her name was Ishtar or Astarte. Amen? From Astarte, whose name in Nineveh was Easter, the religious solemnities of April, of what? April, as now practiced, are called by the name Ishtar. Ishtar or Easter month. Among our pagan ancestors, having been called Ishtar Monat. So your pagan ancestors in England, they used to call this time Ishtar Monat, which means the month of the goddess Ishtar. And it is from there the name came among Christianity, Ishtar or Easter. But Easter was a goddess. Somebody asked me, this Easter, which is the Queen of Heaven, what kind of goddess she was? I read 2 Babylon page 309. I quote. Just before I read that one, I miss out a book I want to read for you. Celebrate the Solstice by Richard Hindenburg, page 105. Listen to this. It was by this means that the Celtic worship of the earth goddess would become the cult of the Virgin Mary, and the celebration of the resurrection would come to be called Ishtar after Eostri, a Greek goddess of fertility and light. But what is the real reason why Ishtar was taken to Babylon? As Baal, Lord of Heaven, and his visible emblem, the sun. So she, as Beltis, the Queen of the Heaven, must have hers also, the moon. Easter was a goddess of the full moon.
Pick them up.
That's why the beginning of a month. Was the new moon.
The new moon was the Muslim. In Islam, the moon in its different phrases have names. The moon in its present phrases is called Allah. Don't forget that.
And they have it so.
I'm not hearing you.
I'm talking about the beginning of the month.
Yes.
Isn't it true that the beginning of the month was on the moon that started?
Yes, the new moon, yes. Right. But Ishtar was the goddess of the full moon. So the Catholic Church set their day after the moon goddess. And what was she called? Ishtar. And the title was the Queen of Heaven. Is it not? Did you ever ask yourself, why did the Catholic Church call Mary the Queen of Heaven? Is Mary the Queen of Heaven? No. Why? Because what they are calling Mary is Ishtar. They call it Ishtar what? Mary. Because Ishtar or Easter is the Queen of what? Heaven. And they are calling Ishtar Mary. Mary was the Queen of Heaven. So why say Mary is the Queen of Heaven? Because the Queen of Heaven is not Mary, but Easter. Why chose a Sunday close? And a Friday close. And by the way, Friday, Freya was the goddess that gave the name Friday. And Freya was the same Easter, which is the moon goddess. So they have a Friday, did you hear me? And a Sunday, close to what? The moon goddess. And it is the moon goddess that determined the choice of their Friday, their Saturday, and their Sunday. So what is Easter? Easter is a covert form of moon worship under the guise of a Christian Passover.
That is it.
Does that moon worship has any relation with the Eucharist that the Catholic use with the wrong wafer for the bread that is used? Does that have any relation?
The wrong one is the sun. The wafer is the sun.
So the wrong thing what else get people that
is the sun. I thought they have the sunburst. But the part of the moon now is Mary, who is called the Queen of Heaven. Since the true Mary is not the Queen of Heaven, the Mary they have is the goddess called the Queen of what? Heaven. And her name is what? Ishtar. That's the reason why. When you see they're choosing Good Friday Glorious Saturday and Easter Sunday, it must be nearest to the full moon, which is the moon goddess. So it's a technical form of moon worship in the form of a Christian Passover. Now turn with me to Jeremiah.
This right here is in the same link. You can actually show that it's Johnson Alexander who was synchronizing Christianity and paganism and influenced the Bishop of Rome.
That was beautiful. Jeremiah 44. We start with 12 to 19. Watch this. 12 to 19. And when I read something and I say something, I want some of you theological men and women here to put up your hand and shout out something for me. What you see here, like this time. Jeremiah 44, 12 to 19, first of all. Verse 12. Now, hold on right here. You remember that Jeremiah was taken by force and carried to Egypt. But wait, listen to me. In Egypt, he met Jews that had left Judah and Israel and decided to live in Egypt. Now when you do that, it's a kind of apostasy that is different. Why? Because Israel started coming out of where? Egypt. Come on, come on. Yes. Israel started coming out of where? Egypt. By great miracles. Yes. The sea parted. What it would take for you, a Jew, to so not appreciate the miracles and works of Yahweh that you leave Israel, you leave Judah, and you go back to live where? In Egypt. Yes. Your mind had to apostatize 180 degrees. Yes. So, Jeremiah met them. But when Jeremiah met them, he found them doing something. And he rebuked them. He told them, what you all are doing is wrong. You shouldn't do such and such and such. Let's take off from there now. So Jeremiah 44 from verse 12. And I will take the remnant of Judah that have set their faces to go into the land of Egypt to sojourn there. And they shall all be consumed and fall in the land of Egypt. They shall even be consumed by the sword and by famine. They shall die from the least even to the one greatest, by the sword and by famine. And there shall be an execration and an astonishment and a curse and a reproach. People will say, look at you all. Only pray your God take only out of Egypt, only die like dogs in Egypt. What kind of God is that? Only wretches, they want nothing. That is how they will become. Now we read on. For I will punish them that dwell in the land of Egypt, as I have punished Jerusalem, by the sword, by famine, and by pestilence. At one point in time, God tells Jeremiah, go and stand up by this gate in Egypt there, and go and stand up by a stone. He said, tell them that same stone, Nebuchadnezzar will put a stone there, and he will hold them and kill them. Prophesy. That's how God prophesied. Amen. He said, right on that same stone, he's going to deal with them. Now let's read on. Verse 14. So that none of the remnant of Judah, which have gone into the land of Egypt to sojourn there, shall escape or remain, but they should return to the land of Judah, to which they have a desire to return to dwell there. For none shall return, but such as shall escape. Now what is he saying? Those that were forced down there, they are the ones that will be allowed to go back. But not the rest that went to live there. He said, I am letting you all go back and live there at all. I, Yahweh, am not letting you all go back and live here in Judah at all. Only those that were forced from here, they're the ones that will go back. But you all will die right here. Wait. Verse 15. Then all the men which knew that their wives had burned incense to other gods, and all the women that stood by, a great multitude, even all the people that dwell in the land of Egypt, in Patros, answered Jeremiah saying, so they come out by their thousands, with all the women and the men, and they faced Jeremiah and they answered Jeremiah. When Jeremiah said that's what God will do, they answered Jeremiah to his face. Here is what they told Jeremiah. They are telling him this. As for the word that thou hast spoken unto us in the name of Yahweh, we will not hearken unto thee. Old face rebellion, we go on. But we will certainly do whatsoever thing going out of our mouth to burn incense unto what? The queen of heaven. Who will they worship it? Jesus! And you will go and tell them, none of you are going back here. They tell Jeremiah, we are not going to do what you're going to say, what you're saying. We will stay here and we will burn incense to the queen of heaven. We read on. And pour out drink offerings unto her, as we have done, we and our fathers, our kings and our princes, in the cities of Judah and in the streets of Jerusalem. Did you just see that? They are admitting that Judah and Jerusalem and the kings were also in apostasy, worshiping whom? Ishtar. It goes on. For then had we plenty of victuals and were well and saw no evil. That was a lie. They claiming that more food and well-being when they were worshiping this goddess. Of course that was a lie. If the goddess worship that had them in that trouble in the first place. Let's read on. But since we left to burn incense to the Queen of Heaven and to pour drink offering unto her, we have wanted all things and have been consumed by the sword and by famine. And when we burn incense to the Queen of Heaven and pour out drink offering unto her, did we make her cakes to worship? Hot cross buns. That's right. And you know what was the shocking thing? You know what was the shocking thing? Watch. What was the shocking thing? Watch. They actually had that on the bun that they made. On the cakes that they made across. The tea was Tammuz. Yes. They actually had that. They said we will continue to even do that. Is that the reason why we have hot cross bun now? What does hot cross bun have to do with Christ dying on a cross?
Yeah, exactly.
They came from paganism.
And on top of that, it's like hot.
And it's white flour.
And it's white flour. Cold hot cross. And white sugar. I never understand why they call it hot cross buns in the first place.
You know what is the shocking thing? The shocking thing is this, my dear brethren. Is that Ishtar is the worship of the moon goddess, the Queen of Heaven, under the guise of a Christian Passover. Watch what they used to do then, watch. They used to pour out offerings to the king, then they used to take the hot cross bun, put it in the mouth and eat it. So that way they eaten Tammuz, the god. So when they eaten Tammuz, the god, guess what? It's the same host given to them which they eat it. No, something sorry.
Look at these people.
Brethren, are you seeing what's going on here?
Yes.
Now, 25 to 27. God said in Yahweh of hosts, the God of Israel, saying, you and your wives have both spoken with your mouth and fulfilled with your hand, saying, we will surely perform our vows that we have vowed to burn incense to the Queen of Heaven and to pour drink offerings unto her. We will surely accomplish your vows. You will surely accomplish your vows and surely perform your vows. Therefore hear the word of Yahweh, all Judah that dwell in the land of Egypt. Behold, I have sworn by my great name, saith Yahweh, that my name shall no more be named in the mouth of any man of Judah in all the land of Egypt, saying, Yahweh God liveth. Did we say that? You know what God is telling them? That you all wouldn't mix my name with your paganism. I am going to make sure you'll lose the knowledge of me and my name and my worship when you're there. I will make sure that you wouldn't use my name with all your worship. When you're doing the wrong thing, I will make sure you don't use my name with your false worship. So that people will get to think that is my services. No, no, no. I will make sure my name become extinct among you all. History tells us that archaeologists digging in an island, a huge island like Tobago, in the Nile, by the name of Elephantine, found a big civilization there, buried in sand, with a temple and all like the Jews have. Which the Jews had. And they were worshipping a goddess by the name of Isis. Yeah. And a god, what is his name of this? Not Osiris. Horus. Not Horus. I can't remember the name, but it's a combination of Osiris and Horus and all of them. And guess what? They so lost knowledge of the true Yahweh that they were worshipping a false God, as God said. And archaeologists pointed out and said, that's what the Jews used to do before they went to Israel. But we know that's what they do after they leave Israel. Amen? Amen. You know these perverted archaeologists. Now let's read on. Verse 27. Behold, I will watch over them for what? Evil. Evil, and not for good. And all the men of Judah that are in the land of Egypt shall be consumed by the sword and by what? Famine, until there be a what? End of them. Amen, brethren? Now the only small group that escaped were those who were carried away by force. But the rest, they were all killed out. That's why when they found this civilization, they wanted to know what happened to the people. They were all murdered out. Every one of them. But not before their ugly teaching spread far and wide. Until today, when people keep the Passover, now watch me, I will give you the name of the Queen of Heaven as the Israelites called it. It's in the Bible. Turn with me to Judges 2:13. Judges 2:13. And then we'll stop here. Judges 2:13. Verse 13. And they forsook Yahweh and served what? Baal and what? Ashtoreth. Ashtoreth is her name. That is the Queen of Heaven. That's how they used to call it here. Are you listening to me, my dear brethren? What does all this mean? It means to say, I ask you, what is Ishtar? Or Easter? Easter is moon goddess worship under the guise of a Passover. How do you know? Because the date for Easter is set by the full moon.
Yes.
That's how they set it. In the first month. And after they find the full moon and they set the date, that's how they claim they're serving Christ. But they can't mix paganism and Christianity together. Amen, brethren? It won't work. Is that understood?
Amen.
And always remember, two problems ancient people have: sun worship and moon worship.
Yes.
Sunday, Monday. Sun worship, Sunday. Moon worship, the moon goddess. Today the moon goddess is honored by the dates or days chosen for Easter. So then therefore, in concluding, what is Easter, the Holy Week? It is what? Moon goddess worship under the guise of a Passover. That's what it is. Brethren, enough people died for that. That's the image of the Catholic Church. That's the image they have. That's Roman about them. We are not on that. Therefore, we reject that. We turn away from it, and we refuse to acknowledge it. Yes, my dear. She asked, did the Church of Israel used to do the same thing? Yes, they did. But the Church of Israel concentrated more on the worship of the god Baal. At times, the goddess would surface. Judah had a problem with the woman god, the woman goddess, more than the god Baal. And in closing, my dear brother, in closing, do you know where human sacrifice started? Human sacrifice started with Christmas, the old pagan Christmas. After they would have their Easter, later on they would go, when Christmas time would be around, and sacrifice their children. Now you see why God has to reject them? Amen, brethren? Amen. So in the future, if somebody asks you, they say, what is Easter? Your answer?
Moon goddess worship under the guise of the Passover.
What is it?
Moon goddess worship under the guise of Passover.
That's right. Now you understand it. Moon goddess worship under the guise of a Passover. It's a mixture of paganism and Christianity. You got that? You got it. That's what it is all about. Okay, my dear brethren? May God help you to keep away from this Holy Week. So tomorrow, Sunday, is not Easter Sunday for you. It's an ordinary Sunday working day for you. And if it is Easter for you, then you are recognizing it is pagan. What do you say? That's nothing to do with God. Yes, brother.
There should be a security
That's right. Amen, amen, amen. Now listen to me, my dear brethren. Next week, we'll go back to Revelation 13, where we have to deal with the seventh head of the papacy and close it off. So it's very important for you not to miss the seventh head of the papacy, the closing off, because the seventh head of the papacy is going to show you why Revelation 13 has the beast, the mark of the beast, and the image of the beast to deal with. All that is what the seventh head will show you. So we will talk about that next Sabbath. Okay? Yes, brother.
Yeah, brother Naira. You said that sun worship and moon worship after the paganism, right?
Yes.
So my Revelation 12, it speaks about a woman clothed in the sun and the moon under her feet. Who is that woman and why that is placed there in Revelation?
The sun is not evil. The sun was created by God. And the sun means the bright light of the sun shining from earth. It's the glory of God. The moon and the sun is a lesser glory. That will be the Old Testament or the Old Covenant. The light there was a lesser light. Because Christ came to give the greater light. Amen. That's what that woman will be showing. Okay? Remember, the dragon persecutes that woman. So she can't be the devil. Okay, brethren, here's some beautiful statistics. Our brethren in Pakistan with a new school, how much success did they get?
Well, last year we got 100%. This year we got 100% again.
Everybody passed the exam. What do you say? Everybody in the school passed the exam.
Under persecution.
When I want to say so, it is the only Christian school in Pakistan that get that highest classes.
Did you hear that? That's why when a Tunisian learn the truth well, it makes you become so intelligent, you can deal with your subjects good. What do you say? Our brethren in Pakistan, 2 years straight, every single student passed the exams in school. Not some, you know, how much? And it's the only Christian school in Pakistan that get that kind of results. But if they can get that results in school, we need the results in faith. Amen. So dedicate yourself to God. What do you say? Amen. Okay? Please let us stand. Okay.
I love this piece.
Please let us bow our heads. Loving Father, we thank you for the light of truth that you have shown us, for the revelations you gave to us, for the blessings and understanding that you gave to us. We now understand that the Holy Week is nothing else but moon goddess worship covered under the guise of a Christian Passover. We know it is false, and we know that not even your name should be mentioned in such a religion as that. And as we speak the truth, bring people to the truth. May they become converted to serve you in spirit and in truth, loving Father. Have mercy upon us. Justify us. Forgive us of our sins. And remit all our past sins in the heavenly sanctuary forever and ever. And as we leave to go home, please keep us safe from all harm, trouble, dangers, and accidents. Until we meet again, through Jesus Christ our Savior. Amen. Amen.